Hey, what's up, Co-op Shop fans? So excited that Marvel Champions arrived yesterday, totally unexpectedly. I've been playing it a ton since then. We're going to do a full playthrough, show you some setup, show you how to play, and then jump in. Feel free to use those timestamps to help with that. And even though it's early, I did want to give you an initial 5 and 5 review, so check out my review as well if you want to see how I'm feeling about the game. And quick disclaimer, this was sent by Asmodee, so this is a review copy, and I did not pay for it. So first, for setup, you got to choose your characters. This is thanks to the Patreon. We have voted on Spider-Man and Iron Man out of the 5 that come in the base box. We're going to start with each character on their alter ego side. If you haven't seen the game yet, you've got both the hero side and the alter ego side, kind of showing the two different sides of being a superhero. And each character is going to start with their max hit points, which is down here. So it's a 10 for Peter Parker and 9 for our friend Tony. And they both have a max hand size of 6 on their alter ego side, but that can change. You'll see Iron Man is only 1 and Spider-Man is 5 on their hero side. Got these lovely little spinners for the hero hit points. There we go. Now, each character additionally has these obligations which are unique to them. So Peter could have his rent due, and Tony could have some business problems with Stark Industries. So these are going to get shuffled in the encounter deck, which you'll see later with the villain. Additionally, each character's got these little Nemesis side decks, 5 cards each. So the Vulture could show up to mess with Peter. And Whiplash, with some overloading of the power plants, could show up to mess with Tony. These are put to the side, and they might come into play, they might not. It depends on how the encounter deck pans out. Next, we're going to shuffle our player decks, but first let me show you how I built them and how it works. So first of all, you'll see the little Spider-Man icon down here in the corner. Each character has 15 cards that they always have to include. And you'll see they're labeled right there nicely for you, Spider-Man. So Spider-Man's got backflip, like a bunch of ways to prevent damage. He's got some things to generate resources, his web shooters. He's got some unique allies, Aunt May and Black Cat. And yeah, he's got his spider sense, webbing people, lots of fun. Now your total deck has to be 40 to 50 cards. You start with 15, so you got to add at least 25 more. I've added 25. You pick one of 4 aspects. Spider-Man's good at defense, so I picked the defender aspect, or sorry, the protection aspect down here. So my cards, I've got Luke Cage, some counter punches. Basically about a bunch of things that will protect Iron Man and even a med team to heal us. Then additionally, you can also fill it out with neutral cards. So I've got some resource generators, Nick Fury and Mockingbird, and some like general kind of support cards. So I'll shuffle all 40 of those together to get Spider-Man's deck ready. Meanwhile, Tony also has his unique cards. He's got Pepper, he's got Repulsor Blast, Supersonic Punches, a ton of upgrades, like his Arc Reactor, and his Rocket Boots, and his armor. And he's also got a War Machine and Stark Tower in there as well. For him, to kind of balance Peter's defense, I chose the Aggression aspect. So he can build cards from here and neutral. You just do your aspect and your starting cards plus neutral cards. So he's got a bunch of damage dealers, Uppercut, Relentless Assault. He's got Attack Team to deal even more damage. And he's got Tiger and the Hulk in here to help him out as well. Plus some neutral resource generation. And for him, you'll see he needs a lot of cards. So I put 3 card generators in here as well. Next, we're going to set up our villain. So in the base game, we have 3 to choose from. We've got Rhino, Klaw, and Ultron. And I'm going to show you Klaw, sort of the medium difficulty villain. He's pretty nasty enough on his own. And next you get to choose whether you want to be normal difficulty or hard. So normal is against his stage 1 and 2 versions. Hard is against his stage 2 and 3. So we're going to take that stage 3 right out. Now every villain has at least 1 main scheme card. Klaw has 2, so he's got 1A and 2A. We won't get to 2A until later. So here it says Underground Distribution. The attack on the shield facility has been linked to an underground weapons network. So it says what I need to have, a standard encounter set. You'll see one of those, one modular encounter set. And it does say we're going to search the encounter deck for the defense network side scheme and reveal it. Then we'll shuffle the encounter deck and go over to the main scheme. So here's defense network, a side scheme. It's going to start with some threat on it. 2, this is starting threat, plus 1 per player, so that'll be 4 on here. And this icon means we cannot take away threat from our main scheme until we've gotten rid of all the threat on the defense network. But we still haven't actually built the encounter deck. So we've got a bunch of cards that are always included for Klaw, and you'll see again they're numbered just like for the heroes. Additionally, you always include the 7 standard cards. If we were playing on hard mode, we could include these 3 advanced expert cards, but we're not going to. And then one of the coolest things, we get to pick one of these modular sets to add, and these are also kind of ranked by difficulty. So Bomb Scare is the easiest one. Masters of Evil is second, and that's one that's recommended, so we're going to use that for Klaw. Then you can also have Under Attack, Legions of Hydra, and the nastiest one, the Doomsday Chair with MODOK. So we've got the standard stuff, Klaw's stuff, one modular encounter set, and we are going to finally add in those obligations from our characters, and then we are ready to shuffle this bad boy up. And I forgot to say, Klaw starts with 12 hit points per player, so we've got another one of these nice spinners for him. We're going right up to 24 life that we need to take away. So the final step of setup is to draw our starting hands. Remember, they each have a hand size of 6. And we're going to be able to mulligan this once. So let's see. We got the Power Protection. This is a resource, and this is basically worth double resources for any green cards. Got Indomitable, which lets me ready myself after I defend. Counterpunch, which lets me hit somebody back. More resources, and a very powerful swinging web kick could do tons of damage. You know what? None of these are actually an upgrade in any form, so I'm going to get rid of all of them. So I put them to the side, draw 6 new cards, and this is what I'm stuck with. Because we've got an ally, Mockingbird, got a med team, we've got another Indomitable, a Haymaker Punch, webbing somebody up, and a little Treachery Canceller for when the enemy does nasty things to us. Okay, so still didn't get some of my favorite things like Aunt May and some other cards, but we'll work with that. And these get shuffled back in. Okay, same thing happens with our man, Tony. Let's see what 6 cards he starts with. Oh, nice. Arc Reactor right off the bat. That lets him play himself twice a turn. Oh my gosh, Pepper Potts. That gives me free resources, free card draw. Oh man, Powered Gauntlets that can deal damage every turn. This lets me fly and gives me extra hit points, and Nick Fury. Okay, we don't need Nick Fury. And honestly, this is kind of too many. I can't even pay for all of these. I don't think I can afford Avengers Mansion. And the thing is, getting these upgrades out is the most important, so I want some cheap ones. So, okay. Let's start with all 3. I can't play all 3 of them. Let's do just those 3 cards. Okay, I'll also get a Helicarrier. That's more free resources, my helmet, and a Supersonic Punch. It is a great hand. I mean, just being able to put out potentially 2 upgrades right off the bat is going to be huge for me. Alright, so with Setup Resolve, we're going to jump into the actual game. I'm going to show you how you play in my first turn instead of kind of doing a separate how to play section. But if you already know the game, you've already read the rules, feel free to skip to the timestamp for round 2 and on. So basically on my turn, I can use actions, I can play cards, I can generate resources. Every card in the game is worth 1 resource of one of 3 types. There's a little fist, little energy ones, and little science resources. But generally speaking, you can use any resource type to play a card. So to play Mockingbird for 3, I'd have to discard 3 other cards, or 3 resources worth, because some cards are worth more than 1, and that would put her into play. And the thing is, at the end of both of our hero turns, I'm going to get all my cards refilled. I'm going to get a full hand, so there's not much reason to hold on to things unless you really want to play specific cards later. Actually, I did forget one part of setup. The Underground Distribution has me discard cards until a minion is discarded and put them into play, engage with the first player, Spider-Man. So we'll go, oh, there we go, right off the bat. So Armored Guard, he's got 1 attack, 3 life, he's got the Guard ability, and he starts out with a Toughness card. So you've got a bunch of these little cards. Tough just means the first time that I hit that Armored Guard, I won't actually hurt him, so he'll kind of shrug off his first instance of damage. Alright, so playing Mockingbird seems to make the most sense. So she would cost 3. Now, Peter Parker's ability when he's on his alter ego side is Scientist. He can generate a science resource once per round. So I'm going to get a free resource out of the 3 to play Mockingbird. Then I get rid of 2 more. Webbed Up is super expensive. I'm going to discard that one. And then also Haymaker. I mean, he could do 3 damage right off the bat. Actually, let's get rid of Med Team. We don't need to heal yet. So that's 2 plus Peter Parker's ability. That gives us Mockingbird in play immediately. And just to show you, she's got some basic stats. This is Thwart, which takes away basically the villain's victory condition, advancing their main scheme. And this is Attack, which, as you can imagine, damages either minions or the villain himself. And then she has 3 life. The key thing, though, notice these little, like, POW symbols underneath Thwart and Attack. Every time I use her and exhaust her to do one of those actions, she takes that much damage. So, kind of like in L5R, the new version by Fantasy Flight, as you use cards or as they just hang around, they're going to slowly go away. Now, her response is, after she enters play, stun an enemy. So that's another one of these little cards, and this says, the next time his character would attack, discard this card instead. So I'm going to stun Klaw so that he'll lose one of his 2 attacks this coming turn. Alright, now I do have enough to play Haymaker, and that would do the 3 damage to defeat the Armored Guard, but I can't attack yet, because I'm not on my hero side, and do notice The Haymaker says hero action, so I need to not be on my alter ego side. Peter Parker cannot do a Haymaker when he's trying to pretend to be his alter ego. So I can flip once per turn for free to Spider-Man. If I'm exhausted, I stay exhausted. And now I've got my key stats. So thwart and attack, we already saw. This is defense, kind of like Lord of the Rings, the card game. You can exhaust yourself when someone attacks to stop that much of the damage. Then Spider-Man's ability, when the villain initiates an attack against you, draw 1 card. So I like getting attacked with my high defense. I get to draw more from it. And I didn't mention all the alter egos have a stat as well, recovery. So this is how much Peter Parker can heal if he runs away from the villain basically and recuperates for a while. Alright, so let's see. I guess what makes the most sense is for Mockingbird to deal 1 damage to take away the toughness, because remember, any amount of damage gets rid of that. And she does damage herself from attacking. And now, with these 2 cards to play for Haymaker, I'm going to deal 3 damage to an enemy. So bam, took out this Armored Guard right off the bat. So I have no cards left. I clearly can't pay for anything, but I could still exhaust Spider-Man to either thwart for 1 or attack for 2. So let's go to the villain for a second and talk about losing and winning. So he's got 24 life in his first stage of Klaw. If we deal all that damage to him, he'll go to his second stage, become more powerful, get even more hit points, and if we can take those down as well, then we win. So we got to defeat the villain twice, basically. But the villain has his main scheme, and he's going to have this many threat tokens here every turn. So in this case, 1 per player, 2. And if he ever gets this many on it, 12, then this scheme advances to, in this case, his second one. And if he advances that as well, then he wins the game, we lose. In this case, by the way, we found out that he's got an illegal operation, and we're trying to stop him. But don't forget, side schemes can have threat tokens on them as well. So this defense network has 4. It's not going to gain any more, but until we get rid of this, we can't actually affect the underground distribution network. So the question here is, does Spider-Man thwart for 1 or attack for 2? I think we know the answer to that. He's better at attacking. And in this case, no one to guard him. Klaw just goes down to 22 life. So Spider-Man is all done. Now I will note, even though he was the first player and took his turn first, there is a lot of cooperation in this, in that any other player can kind of jump in with your permission. So Iron Man could have done some actions in between here. Like maybe he would have attacked that guy, then Spider-Man could have used his Haymaker for something else. So just to know that you can kind of freely play actions, they just have this structure of the first player if you want to use it. Alright, let's go over and look at Tony for a second. So Tony also recovers 3. Remember, he's only got 9 hit points. His special action on his alter ego side is that he gets to look at the top 3 cards of his deck, he adds 1 to his hand and discards the other, so he gets basically a free card every turn when he's on this side. When he's Iron Man, he's better at thwarting than Spider-Man, terrible defense. And his crazy thing is he only has 1 hand size, and you'll see whichever side you're on at the end of your turn, remember you can only flip once, so if I become Iron Man, I can't go back to Tony this turn. I'm going to only draw up to that many cards, so I'll have a turn of only 1 card next time. But I get +1 hand size for each tech upgrade you control to a maximum hand size of 7. So Tony is all about getting his suit out and then blasting people. That's why it's awesome that I got so many of these tech upgrades early, because I'm going to be able to make my hand size pretty large right off the bat. So let's check our options first. I'm going to use Tony's ability. I'm going to draw 3 cards. Got a Supersonic Punch, my Mark V Armor, and Attack Team. I mean, all of these are really expensive. I certainly can't pay for all the stuff that I'm going to do this turn. So, I mean, I'll take the armor, but I know I'm not going to be able to use it. And the rest of these get discarded. And not much reason to stay on the Tony side anymore, so let's flip. So now I got to plot out my turn. So Pepper Potts, she costs 3, but every single turn I can exhaust her to gain the resources of the top card of my discard pile. So 1 or 2 sometimes based on the card that's on the top. The Helicarrier does basically the same thing. I play it for 3, and every turn I can get a free resource. Those are both awesome. The thing is, though, to pay for them, I'd have to discard my actual upgrades that'll make me stronger, and I can't afford to do that. So calculating things out, if I want to play my 3 cheapest upgrades, 1, 2, and then 1, that's 4 resources total, I gotta discard everything else and lose Pepper, lose my armor, lose the Helicarrier. But I think it'll be worth it, because then I'll actually have a decent Iron Man turn next turn, drawing 4 cards instead of only 1. So let's look at these upgrades. Mark V helmet, if I'm the hero, I can exhaust it to remove 1 threat from a scheme. And then if I have the aerial trait, which my boots can give me, they can make me fly, I can instead remove it from every scheme on the board. So it's going to help me take care of those schemes a little bit. This one's amazing. Arc Reactor, I can exhaust it to ready Iron Man, so I get 2 actions a turn instead of 1. And then +1 hit point. That is both a boost to my max hit points as well as an immediate boost to my current hit points. So I immediately go to 10, and he has a lot of things like that. And then I can exhaust them and spend a science resource to become aerial, which you already saw my helmet reacts to well, but other cards will interact with that too. So alrighty, let's see. So Iron Man will go ahead and thwart for 2. And that'll weaken the defense network down to 2. And then I'll use his Mark V helmet to take away another one, so that's almost going to be discarded. Then I'll go and exhaust his arc reactor. And that'll ready him again. And instead of using the 2 thwart to get rid of that, because I can just do it with my Mark V helmet next turn, I'm going to go ahead and damage Klaw for 1. Got a 21, making some progress. And Iron Man is clearly done, so we're going to go to the end of the player phase. So what happens is simultaneously we can discard any cards we want, because remember we're going to draw back up to our max hand size. Then we draw to our hand size. Right now Spider-Man is 5 and Tony is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we get to ready all of our cards. We'll be ready to attack next turn or defend immediately if we want to. All right, so Tony's good to go. He's getting 4 cards. No mulligan this time. Okay, I got a Repulsor Blast to deal potentially a bunch of damage to somebody. Ooh, another upgrade. Powered Gauntlets can deal damage every turn. An event to deal damage, and another attack team to deal damage. So a ton of damage dealing, but one of them is an upgrade, so that's certainly going to be my priority. Right, Spider-Man has much less fancy stuff, but he is getting 1 more card. So for our 5... Okay, so we haven't seen this yet, but this is a resource card. Look, it's worth 2 resources to play a card instead of only 1 like everything else. Avenger's Mansion, that can let somebody draw a card every turn, either me or Tony. Ah, nice. Indomitable, after I defend, I can ready myself to do something again. Some healing from the med team. And backflip, when I would take any amount of damage, I can prevent all that damage. Alright, so now we go into the villain phase, and this will be the end of kind of my teaching portion. So we're going to place threat on the main scheme. Although it can be boosted, again, we're getting 1 per hero in the game, so 2 here out of the 12 it needs to advance. Next, the villain's going to activate with all of their minions engage with each player once per player. So Spider-Man, he's going to attack or scheme with Spider-Man, then he'll do the same with Iron Man. And the key thing is, if you're in hero form, he attacks you. But if you're in alter ego form, the enemy schemes instead, which means he adds some threat to the main scheme. So we are both in hero form, which means Klaw is going to try to attack. But remember, he's stunned, so instead of attacking Spider-Man, he just discards that. But then he is going to try to attack Iron Man, and his attack is 0, but look, he's got the special ability, Force Interrupt. When Klaw attacks, give him an additional boost card. So basically, whenever the villain activates, he's going to get a boost card. This is, again, like Lord of the Rings. And you're going to flip it up here. I can show you with the Armored Guard. And you're going to see some of these icons. That's how much is added. So if he schemed, for example, instead of 2, he would add 3 to the main scheme. And if he attacked, he would draw 2 of these. And they generally go from 0 to 2 on most cards. Now, some of them will also have a star that'll do a special power, but those are fairly rare, at least for Klaw. So he's going to attack, but of course, Spider-Man wants to defend. So if nobody defends, the attack damage just goes straight through and your hit points is lowered. But if someone defends, you subtract their defense value from the amount of damage being dealt. Now, this is the one rule I'm not sure about, so I'm just going to take a guess at it. It says, when the villain initiates an attack against you, draw 1 card. I'm not sure if he's initiating an attack against Iron Man and I'm stepping in, or if him attacking me because I'm defending makes him initiate an attack against me. I'm going to assume that it does, and that they want you to defend with Spider-Man for other people, so I'm going to give him a free card draw. All right, so... Ooh, awesome, I've got a counterpunch. I'll use that right away. I'm going to hit him back for 2 after I defend against him. So Klaw's 0 basic attack, but I'm going to draw 2 cards for him. In this case, his boost is nothing and 2. So only if there's a star do we read the other text here. Oh, good. Peter's eviction notice is gone. That's great. So he's going to do +2 damage. So 2 + 0 is 2. But Spider-Man's 3 defense cancels it out entirely. Now, Spider-Man's going to do some fun stuff on his turn. He's going to use a counter punch. After your hero defends an enemy attack, deal your hero's attack to that enemy. So I'm going to deal 2 damage to Klaw. Brings him down to 19. That's what you get for trying to mess with Peter Parker. By the way, I will note that an ally who's ready can also exhaust to take the damage, but then they can be destroyed, of course, so here I didn't want to do that. Spider-Man's not done, by the way. He's got Indomitable for 1 more resource. He can ready himself after defending. So let's use Backflip, because I don't think I'll need any more defense this turn. And then the last part of the villain phase is I deal an encounter card to each player, very Arkham Horror LCG style, and each player resolves it in player order, starting with Spider-Man. So I've got these, and let's see. Oh no, this is a really tough one to start with. So it is a side scheme, and it's going to have 6 threat tokens on it, 3 per player. What I'm going to do is I'm going to discard cards until a Masters of Evil minion is discarded and put them into play engaged with Spider-Man, and these guys are pretty nasty. And additionally, while it's in play, the main scheme is going to accelerate, so it'll gain 3 tokens a turn instead of 2. So let's see, hopefully I get him soon. There we go, Whirlwind. So he's got 6 life, he attacks for 2, but he does it against every hero, so he'll attack Spider-Man and Iron Man if we don't defeat him. That guy's into play against Spider-Man. Okay, now let's see Iron Man's card. Sound Manipulation. Okay, so it has a different effect based on whether I'm in hero or alter ego form. I'm in hero form. So I take 2 damage and Klaw heals 2 damage. Back up to 21. Iron Man is down to 8. And final step of a round, I pass the first player token to Iron Man and we're good to go. So I don't love that Masters of Evil came out at all. I've got a nasty minion on Spider-Man. I've got this really bad scheme. It's going to make the other scheme advance every turn. But before we deal with that in Iron Man's turn, I'm actually going to do something with Spider-Man's turn. Because don't forget, I can interject whenever I want with an action from other players. So I've got this Avengers Mansion that can let somebody else draw a card. And I've got 2 resources from Energy, 1 from Med Team. That's 3 out of the 4 I need. And if I flip it back to Peter Parker, I'll have the 4th one. I can get this card out and use it on Iron Man to give him a 5th card to play with. So we're basically going to take Spider-Man's entire turn out of order. He's going to attack Whirlwind for 2. We'll see if we can possibly finish that guy off. I guess Mockingbird will attack him for 1 more. But it also damages her 1. So she only has 1 left, which means I'm probably going to use her to defend a big attack instead of actually attacking or thwarting again. Then we're flipping to Peter Parker. Remember, we stay exhausted. With his ability to give us a resource and the 3 from here, we're going to play 4 for Avengers Mansion. And we will give Tony a card draw right off the bat. Hey, more rocket boots. Not sure we need them, but it would give us an extra card when we're Iron Man. Ooh, you know what? I just realized. I really want to get rid of Masters of Evil. And that has 6 on it, and Tony can thwart twice. That would be 4 discarded. And then his helmet can do 1 more. Oh, actually, wait, doesn't his helmet... No, it does 1 to every scheme. So, yeah, you know, I think I'm going to actually have Mockingbird, instead of dealing 1 damage to Whirlwind, I'll have her take away 1 threat from this. If this turn goes beautifully, maybe we can get rid of Masters of Evil and Whirlwind all in one go, but that seems kind of unlikely. But for now, let's do the easy stuff. Iron Man's going to thwart, Arc Reactor himself back to being standing, and then thwart again, so that's 4 total. That'll put Masters of Evil just 1 from being discarded. Now, let's see, I think I really want to get my Powered Gauntlets out. So these, every turn, when I'm the hero at least, I can deal 1 damage to an enemy, or 2 if I'm aerial. So let's do that. And I guess we'll play with... Yeah, I don't think I need the other rocket boots too badly, and the tack team's too expensive. Well, I don't know. Let's get rid of both the expensive cards. Right, so now I have a choice. I could pay 1 science from the rocket boost card to make myself fly with my other rocket boost, and then I would do 1 threat reduction to everything, and also I would deal 2 damage to Whirlwind instead of 1. But I'd kind of rather play one of these, because if I play these, I'll be getting more cards and more hit points. But if I play the Repulsor Blast, I deal 1 damage to an enemy and discard the top 5 cards, and for every energy resource discarded, I deal 2 more. So I might just be able to blow Whirlwind up in one go. So let's try that. I'm going to Repulsor Blast Whirlwind. So I'm doing 1 damage automatically. That brings him to 3 out of 6. I'm discarding the top 5 cards in my deck. I'm looking for energy. No, come on. No. Okay, that's wild, so I can make it whatever I want. So that's 2 energy. That's 4 damage. And that is enough. Get out of here, guy. All right, so I can't fly, but I can still thwart away Masters of Evil, so we're not getting that +1 this turn. Man, that worked out great. Good job, Iron Man. And then finally, I'll blast Klaw for 1 damage because I can. He's back down to 20. Now, the question before me is, do I want to flip Iron Man or not? I'm not going to use his ability, so I'll get 5 cards right now and get 6 as Iron Man. I think I'm going to stay here because I don't like the idea of Klaw scheming twice, once for Peter Parker and once for Iron Man. Now, Peter can't defend him, so I hope we don't get destroyed. All right, so Iron Man's going to draw up to 5 cards because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tech cards boosting us now. Okay, and this is just a double resource for aggression cards. Ooh, Stark Tower gives him, lets me get tech cards back from my discard pile, so all the upgrades I missed I can get back. Bunch of damage, canceling a threat when the enemy does it, that's not bad. Another Repulsor Blast, those are all pretty good. And of course, everything is ready for another turn. Meanwhile, Peter is getting his full 6 since he's on his Alter Ego side. Another counter punch, great, although we can't use it this turn. A haymaker to do some extra damage. Yeah, Luke Cage. So Luke starts out with toughness, so he can't be hurt the first time he would take damage. He's got 5 life, can attack for 2 each turn. Awesome. 8 damage from swinging web kick. 2 resources and another swinging web kick. Oh man, I wish I could pay for both of them. So a ton of damage and Luke Cage this turn, not bad. And then all of us untap, but unfortunately Peter Parker cannot defend because he's not a Spider-Man right now. So going over to Klaw. Underground Distribution just gets its regular 2 since we took out the Masters of Evil. And we still can't hurt it with Defense Network hanging out there. Okay, so now Klaw is going to activate for Iron Man first, and Iron Man is Iron Man, so he's going to attack Iron Man. But don't forget, we got Mockingbird sitting over here. She will jump in front of that attack just to keep our friend safe. Klaw gets 2 boost cards. And, oh, we got a special. This activation deals damage to you, exhaust your hero. Well, luckily it didn't. It dealt damage to Mockingbird, so thank you so much for your sacrifice. She is discarded, having taken 3 or more damage total. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Yeah, wait. He's 0 plus the icons. He didn't deal any damage, so she's still exhausted, but she's actually still alive for another turn. Klaw, you are a whiffer here. But now with Peter, he's just going to do his 2 scheme, because he's Peter Parker, plus... Oh man, 2 more. That's 4 scheme in 1 turn. That makes this 8 out of 12, so we need to get rid of that soon, or he's going to go to his nastier next phase. And then Iron Man's going to get an encounter card, and so is Peter. Iron Man's got Assault. Oh, so he attacks me. Yeah, no one to defend this time. Okay, so 2 more cards for Klaw. We got Special and 2. Okay, so it's going to be 2 damage and had discard 1 card at random from Iron Man's hand. So Iron Man's down to 6. And let's see, he loses Repulsor Blast, darn. Meanwhile, for Spider-Man, another Armored Guard. So remember, he starts with Toughness, but that means Spider-Man cannot hurt Klaw until this guy's defeated. Now we better deal with some threats soon or we could be in trouble. Coming to Spider-Man, he's got the first player token. You know, I think I am still going to use the Avengers Mansion on Iron Man. And let him draw... Ooh, another 2 resources. That might help him do some big things this turn. Meanwhile, for Spider-Man, I think getting Luke Cage out is my best bet. So Genius will pay for 2 of that. Spider-Man can generate 1 himself. That's 3. And then let's see. I'm going to be able to pay for a Haymaker. So I guess I'll use Counterpunch for the last one. And then, yeah, use 2 swinging web kicks for a Haymaker. Not as great as just attacking with the swinging web kicks, but take what I can get. So here comes Luke Cage, ready to smash some heads. And he's got a Tough, which means if he attacks right now when he would take 1 damage, he won't. Or he can wait and block a big attack. But most importantly, let's switch back to Spider-Man. So let's see. Iron Man will be able to get rid of 5 of this all by himself. So... that should, I guess, be enough to make us safe for another turn. So maybe Peter can focus on damage since he's better at it. So let's have Spider-Man attack the Armored Guard to get rid of his Tough, so it's just a wasted attack. Let's have Luke Cage get rid of his... Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I got this nice Haymaker waiting, so I'll pay 2 to play the Haymaker. That's 3 damage, defeat the Armored Guard straight up. And then Luke Cage can throw his Toughness, but not take any of his 5 damage. He had to deal 2 to Klaw. So he's down to 18, but only on his first form, don't forget. Meanwhile, Tony's a bit hurt, but let's go ahead and do the obvious things. And oh, wait, no, hold on. Before I do my regular thwart, do I want to use my helmet? So the helmet says if I'm aerial, I remove 1 threat from each scheme. And I think even though this would stop me from putting a threat off a scheme, since it has 1, if I do its scheme first, I will take 1 from the main scheme. That's how I'm going to play it, at least. So to make myself fly, I have to exhaust my rocket boots and discard a science resource. Oh, crud. It would either be Stark Tower, which I did want to play, or the Power of Aggression, which is a wild, but that's a double if I play it on a Relentless Assault, for example. But actually, Relentless Assault only hits a minion, so never mind. I'm going to use a Power of Aggression and get Stark Tower into play, I think. Alright, so I'm now flying. That means this will take away 1 threat from each scheme. So we'll finally get rid of Defense Network first. And then take 1 away from Underground Distribution. Then Iron Man's going to do a little thwart, Arc Reactor thwart for 4 more. Back down to 3. Nice job, Iron Man. Alright, now I'll use now I'll use Strength and its 2 abilities to play Stark Tower. Now, do you know this is an alter ego action, so I can only get those tech cards back from my discard pile if I am in Tony Stark form instead of Iron Man. So I might switch back in just a second there. And I do still have my powered gauntlet, so let's deal 2 damage to Klaw for free. Get down to 16, get a little bit closer. So yeah, let's switch back to Tony and get another card in play. So use Stark Tower and choose myself and get the topmost tech card. What was it? Ah, another powered gauntlet. Yes, I would love to have that in play. And let's see, I could discard 3 cards and keep one of them. But here's the thing, I don't need to, and whenever you go through your deck fully, you have to draw an encounter card, so that's sort of an escalation effect, so I think I'm okay without the ability. I'll use it at the start of my next turn. But I'm going to play these powered gauntlets for 2. Now, I cannot use them because I'm not in hero form, but next turn I'll be able to blast double. Oh my gosh. Alright, and let's get all these fun toys back in action. And we're back on our alter ego side, so that's just 6 cards straight up, not caring about how many tech upgrades I have. Another double for aggression cards. Cancel 1 threat being added, might use that. Another one to destroy a minion. To deal 5 damage to somebody. Ooh, free resource generation and free card draw. I might want to get some of those in play. Well, Peter's got his Mockingbird sacrifice back. Luke Cage ready to punch. He's only drawn 5 cards again because he's Spider-Man. Ooh, this is a nice one. If I defeat a minion, I can remove 3 threat. So I'll get to save that for when another guard comes out. Another med team. Double resources for protection cards like the med team. Ooh, web shooter. This costs me 1, but then it gets me 3 resources over 3 turns. And web somebody up to cancel 2 attacks by them. Okay, Klaw's looking a little bit lonely over here, but I don't think he's done yet. And so that'll be 5. Do I need to use the emergency card to cancel 1? No, I don't think so. Let's let me keep those resources. Okay, and Klaw's going to attack Spider-Man and then try to thwart Tony. So I could have Mockingbird block, but I'd kind of rather get the free card from Spider-Man taking the hit because he's not even hurt at all. So yeah, let's have Spider-Man do it. So I get another card. Ooh, another web shooter. Tons of resources for me coming. Okay, so then Klaw's doing 0 plus 2 and a special. Put weapons runner into play, engage with you. Oh, okay, so I guess I got an enemy coming. And another thing I'm not sure about, I think enemy, because usually enemy minions would attack in the same turn the villain attacks you, so I think this guy's going to attack me right away, but I'm not entirely sure. Alright, so I will take 2-3 damage then. Brings me down to 7, I'm not worried. Hopefully Aunt May will come out and give me some home cooking. And quite honestly, this gunrunner is just going to become a nice little spider tracker target for me. Okay, but now since Tony's on his Tony side, Klaw is going to try to scheme, so it's 2 plus... Uh-oh. Give the villain a tough status card, so he's going to cancel his first thing, although I'm glad to have Tiger Shark not come into play. So that's that on Klaw. And he schemes 2 more onto here, so that's 7 out of 12. Now Spider-Man's getting a card, so it's Tony. Spider-Man gets another Armored Guard. Gosh, these guys are just all over the place. And then Tony gets Caught Off Guard. Discard an upgrade or support you control. Oh, no. Oh, actually, so whenever I discard, Stark Tower can just grab right back for me. So let's do one of the cheap ones. I'll do my boots. And I'll just be able to pull them back right at the start of my turn. Alrighty, so Spider-Man's ready to go. Let's get these web shooters in play first. So they each cost 1, but they come with 3 tokens. And I can exhaust them to gain a resource by spending one of those tokens. So let's see, to pay for them... I don't know if I need the med team. I'm kind of doing okay. Oh, I know, actually. Let's. I definitely don't need webbed up. But let's use the first one to pay for the second one. And that leaves me all of this. Let's see, so that'd be 2. I don't want to use that, though. Am I going to flip this Peter Parker this turn? Let's kind of resolve some other stuff first. So I am going to... Yeah, I'll use my web shooter to play the spider tracker on this weapons runner. He's only got 2 life, so let's just say Spider-Man defeats him himself. Remember, that immediately removes 3 threat from the main scheme. So that leaves only 4, and Tony laughs at that number. And we still got this armored guard to deal with. So I guess Mockingbird could hit him and then get destroyed. Yeah, let's do that. So she'll get rid of the toughness by destroying herself. So this guy's got 3 life left. So let's interrupt for a second to have Tony play Relentless Assault. It's 5... Oh, no, he's not on his hero side. Okay, so first... Yeah, let's just do some Tony stuff for a minute to get him on his hero side. So first of all, he will use Stark Tower to get his boots back. He'll also use his ability to get another card, although he's really close to drawing an encounter card. So let's see, attack team, helicarrier. I don't know if I can really afford any of these, but I'll go ahead and get the helicarrier. I got a lot of cards. At this point, I can freely switch to Iron Man and just finish resolving what I wanted to resolve for Peter. So I'm going to use the Power of Aggression, which will pay for Relentless Assault because it's double value for aggression cards. So I deal 5 damage to a minion, and if I paid with it with a fist resource, and I can make this whatever I want, so I'll say it's a fist resource, it has overkill, so the extra damage will go to the boss. So that means I'm finishing off with 3 damage to the Armored Guard, and getting rid of Klaw's Tough in the deal. And that's all the opening Luke Cage needed. He'll deal 1 out of 5 damage to himself to deal 2 damage to Klaw. Down to 14, it's going to go a lot lower. I know I could just sit where I am. Ooh, actually, let's see what Peter draws with the Avengers Mansion. Because he could actually pay for the med team now between this being double and whatever he draws, or maybe it'll be something good. Oh, it's another spider tracker. Yeah, so, okay. I think I'm going to flip to Peter Parker's side. That's 3 resources with this being double. That puts the med team into play. So I can exhaust this to heal 2 damage from any friendly character. That could be Tony, that could be Spider-Man, it could even be Luke Cage to keep him doing his ally thing longer. But I think for now I'm going to heal Tony, who only has 6 life. Ooh, and actually, you know what? He took 1 damage when he lost his boots because they raise his max life, so when he loses them it goes down, but they'll go back up in a second. Alright, so let's see. Tony could play a bunch of stuff. So I do feel like he should get his Avengers Mansion or a helicarrier in play. I definitely want to play the rocket boots too, though. The uppercut wouldn't be too bad, but I can wait to do 5 damage. But yeah, let's do the easy stuff. So that's 2 for Thwart. That clears off the threat entirely. All right. Well, actually, you know, I don't even need to do that because my helmet can do 1. So, you know what? Yeah, let's leave 1/3 on there, but that means that Iron Man will still be unexhausted. So we can hit Klaw for 1 damage. There we go, although I'm actually realizing maybe he should have healed himself when he was Tony Stark, but too late. And let's see. So if I do 3 cards for the helicarrier, that would give me enough to play the rocket boots. Yeah, so that should work. Alright, so that's 3 there. I'm going to save the Avengers Mansion. You'll see why in a second. And then I'll use the helicarrier, reduce the cost of this to 1, so I got that back in play, and my max health is back up. And then I'm going to use this and my rocket boots to go aerial again, which means those will each do 2 damage instead of 1, which is 4. So there we go, getting my combos going. Klaw's down to 9 now. Oh man, but I think I'm about to draw an encounter card. Oh, I absolutely am. Oh, yeah, so 6. So unfortunately, when your deck is emptied, you immediately reshuffle and draw an encounter card, not when you would have to draw another card. So I did get Hulk, cool. Bunch of stuff. Nick Fury, Repulsor Blast. Oh man, so this is pretty good. I got a bunch of resources to play some of these big cards. Nick Fury is basically the Gandalf of this game, if you're thinking of Lord of the Rings, the card game. Now, I think that technically this is all simultaneous, so Peter can also draw his cards before I see what the encounter card is in case he can help. Although, you know what? They're actually not readying until after they draw, so I guess even Iron Man won't be unexhausted when his encounter card comes out. Okay, so Peter's got 6. Spidey Sans, oh, this is great. He can cancel a when revealed effect, so if we get some really nasty card, he can get rid of it. Unexhaust himself again, counterpunch again. Oh, another one to cancel a treachery card. Okay, I got 2. Oh my gosh. So I can just cancel encounter cards all day long if I want to. Although, nope. These are all hero interrupts, and I am Peter Parker right now. Darn. Yeah, so I'm totally out of position for helping here. Okay, so Tony's card for going through his deck. Oh no. Each Master of Evil minion attacks the hero. Okay, we don't have any. If no attacks were made, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a Masters of Evil minion, put into play, engage with you. So I can search, which I just looked at the rules means I can put whichever one I want. So let's see, Tiger Shark has huge attack, and then he gets toughness after he attacks. That's not great. Radioactive Man makes you discard cards and has more life. Whirlwind, we already saw, attacks everybody. Now let's see who's left in the deck. Melter. The engaged player must defend against Melter's attack with an ally if possible. He's got the least life. I guess he would hurt Luke Cage a lot though. But yeah, I think I'm going to put Melter in play. It also takes him out of the deck. Okay, now I can unexhaust everything. Oh, wait, no, that's right. That was on Tony, not Spider-Man, which is, I guess, good because he can't actually hurt Luke Cage right now. Although, man, I wish Spider-Man was on his other side to defend Iron Man. Because between all these people, I think Iron Man's going to be hurting a lot anyway. Okay, now we do shuffle his deck back up. We're now into Klaw's regular turn. We got 2 cards. He's scheming first, and Spider-Man is in his Peter Parker form. Got +1, so for 3. So 6 out of 12. And he's going to attack Iron Man, and so is Melter. I think Luke Cage will try to stop the Melter attack. That's automatically 3, so Luke Cage will be left with 1 life. Meanwhile, Klaw is going to also attack him. Oh, unlucky. Okay, just 1 icon. It's only a single damage. There we go, Iron Man. You're doing okay. Well, we're almost done with the encounter deck. And by the way, once we go through this all the way, the main scheme gets an acceleration icon, and it's going to get 1 more every turn. So the game also accelerates that way. Okay, for Spider-Man, attach to Klaw. Klaw gains Retaliate. After this character is attacked, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. But if we spend 1 of each resource type, we can discard it as an action when we're in our hero form. So we'll try to get rid of that, I think. And for Iron Man, Sonic Boom. Either spend 1 of each resource type or exhaust each character you control. Well, luckily Iron Man only controls himself. He doesn't have any allies, and he can unexhaust himself with his arc reactor, so I think he's fine with that. Speaking of Iron Man, he's the first player again, so yeah, let's go ahead and unexhaust him right away. So Hulk is super fun, by the way. He attacks for 3, and then you draw the top card of your deck or discard it, and he might deal 2 more damage, he might deal 1 damage to everyone, he might discard himself or do everything, so he likes to smash. Nick Fury, meanwhile, I said he was Gandalf, so he enters play. I can remove 2 threat, draw 3 cards, or deal 4 damage, and then he can thwart or attack for 2, and then he'll unexhaust and also be able to block, and then if he's still in play at the end of the round, he goes away, so he does a ton of stuff for 4. Yeah, I got a lot of good cards and a lot of nice resources for them. See, I think I'll use the Helicarrier. And let's make Uppercut cost 2 and then pay for it with energy. So that's 5 damage. Melter, you did a good try, but you are gone. And before Tony does anything else, let's go to Spider-Man for a moment. He's got a ton of defensive stuff, and it's not helping us at all. But let's have him draw another card and see if we can get more options here. Ooh, awesome, Aunt May. So look, exhaust Aunt May, heal 4 damage from Peter Parker when she's in Peter form. Yes. But the main reason I wanted to go to Peter is because he can get rid of that retaliation card on Klaw with all these extra cards he doesn't need. So I do want to keep 1 enhanced Spider Sense, maybe even both, because it's nice to cancel terrible cards. But the Counterpunch I don't need, so let's play... actually, here, we'll just use Peter's special ability to play Aunt May. She can immediately heal him back to 10. He can't go above max. Alright, so then I've got 1... Oh no, I'll use Get Behind Me, Counterpunch, and Indomitable to get rid of that Retaliate card. You'll see 1 of each. I can either play a Haymaker or keep the Enhanced Spider Senses. Well, let's see, Spider-Man's about to draw some more cards and maybe get an encounter card. I will use the Med Team on Luke Cage. Make him a little more capable of helping in the future. Alright, sure, let's go ahead and switch over. I'll certainly attack for 2. Klaw's down to 7. I think if I Haymaker, I'm actually going to set up Klaw to attack us. So I think I might stop there. I'd rather Klaw flip at the end of a turn instead of the beginning of a turn. So let's see. If I play everything, I can get Nick Fury out. Or I can get Hulk out, but he might discard himself 5 seconds later. Yeah, let's go with the consistent one. So that's 2, 3, 4. Nick Fury's in play. Oh, I guess I should have Klaw flip, shouldn't I? So maybe Spider-Man will play the Haymaker. Alright, so yeah, we'll have Nick Fury do 4 damage to Klaw. Brings him down to 3. I will flip back to Spider-Man and have him play his Haymaker for his last 2 to deal 3 more. So Klaw's first form is defeated. Means he's flipping to his second form. It says, when revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for the Immortal Klaw and reveal it. Besides that, he's got a better attack stat and he still draws an extra card for it. He's got 18 times the number of heroes, so that's 36. The Immortal Klaw has 6 tokens on it, and Klaw's got 10 hit points, which go away when this is destroyed. So that means Klaw has 46 life, but if I defeat him here, he is done. Oh, darn, I didn't leave myself resources to fly, darn. Well, that's okay. I can still do 2 damage. So that brings him to 44. And I definitely need to deal with this. So let's have Nick Fury thwart for 2. So if Iron Man do the same, and his helmet do for 1, so that will... Oh, wait. So I got rid of all of it. So Nick Fury did 2, that's that. No, okay, if Iron Man does 2 and then his helmet does 1, that leaves 1 left. So much better. Oh, do note the Immortal Klaw adds a +1 token, so he's going to get more as long as this is in play. Okay, now I could flip to Tony Stark, and that would let me use Stark Tower, but I don't really... Do I even have any tech cards in here? No, not yet. But I guess I'd rather not take the damage. So yeah, let me go ahead and do it. I will use his power to draw 3 and keep 1. Avengers Mansion. Oh man, I didn't get anything that would let me discard it and get an upgrade. So, let's see, Tigra. Now she can deal 2 damage several times. That seems worth it. Or just 5 damage straight up. Well, let's keep her and maybe hang on to her. Oh, I did just realize I can choose any player for this, so I could have Spider-Man get back his little spider tracker. He doesn't need to right now, there's no minions, but it's just cool to know that's an option. All right, so end of a turn, let's see, is Spider-Man going over? No, he's only taking 5 cards, so he's okay for the moment. Let's look at Tony, he's getting all his stuff back. Do I want to keep Tigra or not? I guess I do. Doing some damage and then being able to block for Tony seems pretty good. So he's getting 5 other cards. There's my armor for +6 hit points. Awesome. 5 damage to a minion. Double for red cards. Another mansion. And some damage from Repulsor Blast. And let's see what he's got. Oh, get some threat canceling, and I'm actually ready for it this time. Double resources. Resources. Cancel damage. And his own Nick Fury. And let's not forget Nick Fury's in play. He'll certainly be taking a hit for us. Okay, so Underground Distribution gets 3. 2 for itself, plus the 1 from Immortal Klaw. And Klaw's going to scheme for Tony. So that'll be 2 plus. Oh, put Weapons Runner into play, engage with you. Tony's got a little weak minion. But it is just 2 scheme then. Okay, and then Spider-Man. He's going to get a card when he's getting attacked. Ooh, Black Cat is awesome. So she can give me some free cards, and then also she can attack every turn without taking damage, so she can deal 1 damage a turn basically forever. Actually, no, I'm not going to block, because I've got a backflip to take no damage anyway. Claw's almost through. Oh my gosh, good thing too. That is 4 + 1, 5 damage, but it's 0. Thanks anyway. Alright, so we're going to go through Klaw's deck to get our second encounter card. That means that now the main scheme is getting +1 every turn. So that'll be 4 currently. So Tony's getting the last card. Gang up. The villain in each minion... Oh no, he's an alter ego, so he gets Surge. We just draw another one. Oh no, Shadows of the Past. Reveal your set-aside Nemesis minion and put it into play, engage with you. Reveal your set-aside Nemesis side scheme and put it into play. Shuffle the rest of your set-aside Nemesis encounter set into the encounter deck. Alright, so this is not good. Oh, wait! That is a when revealed effect. Now, I will show you how cool it is, but then I'm going to cancel it. So, we get an extra threat every turn from an overload. And then Whiplash would be here with 3 attack, and every time you hurt him, he would hit you back, and these other nasty cards would go in. But instead, I'll pay with Nick Fury to play Get Behind Me, which means I cancel the revealed effects and the villain attacks me instead. I'm going to have Nick Fury block and take it. Claw still reveals 2 cards. No bonus there. Okay, if it deals damage, exhaust your hero. Well, who cares, because Nick Fury's going away anyway. And then Spider-Man still needs to draw his card. Oh, Melter again? Alright, so I guess we'll be trying to defeat some guys. Okay, Spider-Man is first. He's down quite a few cards. Ooh, I can actually get the Helicarrier in play, can't I? Yeah, so let's use both web shooters. Oh, crud, no. I'd have to discard Black Cat or Strength, and then I wouldn't have enough for her. Oh, I know. I'll use Avengers Mansion to draw an extra card. Swing Web Kick is really nice, though, but whatever. I want to do this. Okay, so I'll discard that for the third one. Get Helicarrier into play. And that can reduce anybody's next card, because I have enough to play Black Cat as well. So I'll use that on Tony. Alright, so Melter needs 5. Black Cat does 1, Luke Cage does 2, Spider-Man does 2, sounds good to me. Remember, Luke Cage damages his self, but Black Cat does not. That's 5, so Melter is gone. And Med Team... Iron Man's going to play his armor and be totally fine. Guess I could use it on Luke Cage, but we'll save it for now. And the Helicarrier we're going to use on Iron Man's turn. Speaking of Iron Man, that's a 2/3 to get Tigra in play. And when she defeats a minion, she heals a damage, so she'll do 2 damage to the weapon runner and defeat him and immediately get her damage back, so she's not even hurt by it. Okay, now I definitely want to get the Mark V armor out. Oh, well, let's not forget about Tony's ability. Let's see what happens with that first. Loves Assault. Oh, there's Pepper. I'd rather have Pepper, so let's get her. Discard these. Nothing for Stark Tower to grab, sadly. Alright, so we'll use Peter's Helicarrier that makes the Mark V armor only cost 2. Or actually, I think we can get Pepper in play and then, yeah, so let's make Pepper cost 2. That's 2 more. No, it won't work. Ah, darn, okay. So yeah, we'll make the Mark V armor cost 2. Discard these. We immediately gain 6 max and current hit points. I'm at 13 now, alright. And then we got enough to do a Repulsor Blast, so let's flip over to Iron Man. Oh, but darn, I still don't have any resources that can actually make me fly. That's a bummer. So I guess I'll do 1, 2 damage to Klaw. Brings him to 42. Woohoo! I will Repulsor Blast him as well. So that's 1 plus energy from 5 cards. So we got a wild, and okay, so that's 2, so that's 5 damage total. It's down to 37. Tony's going to do his 4 threat thing. I think I'm actually going to get it all from the Immortal Klaw. So that leaves it with 2 left. And then for my helmet, I'll take 1 away. This one I'll also do from the Immortal Klaw, and just hope the main threat is okay. And that's about it. So let's see, Tony, this is amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's drawing 7 cards. He's actually getting more as Iron Man than he does as his alter ego, although he's almost through his deck again. We got Attack Team, Supersonic Punch, lots of Supersonic Punches. Okay, so a ton of damage and some resources. And we're not going to unexhaust yet because Peter Parker's about to draw his last card. He's going to have to deal with this on his own. That's 1 card, 4 more. We got some double stuff, some more med teams, web somebody up. Ooh, good, a backflip to prevent damage and a haymaker to do damage. We just have to draw an extra encounter card. Ah, Sell, the villain attacks me. It does give me a free card draw immediately. Get behind me to cancel a threat night card, nice. And I can see how much damage I'm going to take before I decide if I want to play the backflip. So Klaw's got 1, plus, okay, that's 2. If his activation deals damage, exhaust your hero. Well, funny thing is, I am not exhausted yet. So I think I'll actually save the backflip and just take the 2 damage. Alright, so I'm down to 8. Okay, now we unexhaust everything. Okay, Klaw's placing 5 on this thing, so that means it only needs 3 more. Hopefully no cards add any. We're both in superhero mode, so he's going to attack Spider-Man first. Spider-Man gets a free card. Spider-Man will once again see how bad it is before he decides if he wants to backflip. 2 and nothing. So that's 3 damage. And yeah, this time I will use it. Next Klaw is going to attack Iron Man. Spider-Man could defend, but I mean, what the heck? Iron Man's got 13 life. Oh my gosh, plus 5, so that's 6 damage. He is down to 7. That was a lot. Okay, now some encounter cards, but Spider-Man's got 1 canceller. Whirlwind is on Spider-Man with 6 life. Meanwhile, Tony, when revealed. But unfortunately, this only applies to a treachery card, not just any card that says when revealed. So we're getting another Master of Evil, and the main scheme will gain 5 every turn now. All right, let's see who's first. Come on. Oh, it's Radioactive Man. So he's got 7 life. After he attacks you, you have to discard 1 card at random. And we just got a lot of bad coming our way. Good thing Tony's got a lot of attack on his plate. All right, man, look at this. No science resource to make myself fly yet. So first things first, Peter's going to use Avengers Mansion to try to give him a flying resource. Come on, help me out here. Nope. That means my supersonic punches will do 4 damage instead of 8. Come on. Yeah, I think sadly there's nothing I can do to get that into play. Alright, well, it's going to severely weaken what I can do this turn. Alright, well, that's okay. So let's go ahead and do a Relentless Assault on Whirlwind. Leave him with 1 life left. Well, actually, let's hold on. Do a Supersonic Punch on Whirlwind first. So that's 4 damage. That'll leave him with 2. Then the Relentless Assault with the Strength card. So that'll do 2 more to Whirlwind to finish him off, plus 3 to the boss. There we go. Now let's see. We'll go and use 2 to play the Supersonic Punch, 4 on Radioactive Man. We'll do one of my Gauntlets to do 5. Tiger will do the last 2 and will once again not take any damage. Use my Mark V helmet to get rid of the Immortal Klaw. So it brings him down to 24, much more manageable. Deal 1 more damage. I guess I'll do a double thwart. Bring the main one down to 5, still in trouble. Yeah, I'm still not going to switch to Tony. I like getting 7 cards. Okay, meanwhile, Spider-Man will use Tony's Helicarrier and his own to make Nick Fury only cost 2. And then what the heck, let's use both our web shooters to make it cost nothing. So we could do 2 threat and then do 2 more. Yeah, so let's do that. That'll be 4 threat. I'm going to take it from Masters of Evil to get rid of its +1 bonus. And then I guess Black Cat and Luke Cage will both do 1 more to get rid of it. And that does make Black Cat take a damage. And Spider-Man will punch him, of course. So he's almost under 20. Come on. I want to keep Get Behind Me, I think. Get another med team in play. Although wouldn't I rather do a Haymaker? Well, you know, maybe I spend everything and web him up. So this would cancel the next 2 attacks because it cancels an attack and then stuns him, and that means he wouldn't attack at all. I do kind of like that, sure, because I think I can smash him for 21 damage next turn. So he's webbed up, and that is that. Spider-Man's getting 5. And I think Tony's about to go over again. Oh, we got a counterpunch, a haymaker, strength, swinging web kick. Oh, that's a ton of damage. Okay, that should be able to finish him off pretty easily. I mean, while Tony is, yes. Going through my deck too quickly. So that's 7 cards. He's got, hey, we finally got War Machine. 2 attack, exhaust him, deal 2 damage to him to deal 1 damage to every enemy. That's pretty cool. Repulsor Blast, another Rocket Boot, Supersonic Punch, Strength, Power of Aggression. Now, the important thing is, yes, those science resources to be flying. Let's see if we can survive our card, though. Armored Guard, that's fine. He is tough, and we can't attack until he's dead, not that we mind. All right, so now we can unexhaust everything. All right, now with all our efforts, it's only gaining 3, so it needs 4 more. And then Klaw's entire turn will be wasted because he'll be webbed up and then stunned. So all we're doing is our encounter cards for Tony. Oh, Defense Network. Okay, so it's going to have 4 we need to get rid of. Although, honestly, I think this next turn is going to be a punching turn, so that might not matter. For Spider-Man, oh, give to Tony Stark. He may flip to alter ego form. You have to either exhaust him to remove this from the game, or exhaust every upgrade you control. I do not think so. Okay, so we'll switch to Tony Stark and just exhaust him to get rid of this. It's not too bad, of course, because he can flip back over and use his arc reactor to come back into play. All right, and this is certainly going to be the end. And I guess I might have wanted to play on a higher difficulty. I'm still getting the feel for this, but let's see how much damage we can do. Oh, I forgot. Nick Fury didn't get to do anything or block, but he's gone. So let's see. We can do a swinging web kick with the helicarrier and strength. That is 8 damage out of the 21. Let's do a haymaker for 3 more. That is 11 damage. Spider-Man, 13 damage. Luke Cage getting destroyed, but 15 damage. And Black Cat for 1 more, 16 damage. Klaw is down to 5. You know what? Just for good measure, let's let Tony draw a card. Genius, yes he is. And hey, Spider-Man knows the job is going to be sealed, so let's flip over and get a home-cooked meal. Thanks, Aunt May. Heal back up to 10. And Tony, can you do 5 damage? How about we fly? Get some rocket boots going. And do a real supersonic punch. We'll pay for it with Genius. So that is 8 damage if you are aerial. 8 is more than 5. Boom! So Klaw version 2 clearly should have done maybe a version 3 or a tougher mod deck, but there we go, we have won. So there you go, if you've seen the movies, you know Spider-Man and Iron Man can be a great team. We made it. Check out my review, and we'll see you at the next stop.